Okay.
So maybe I'll hold while you tack, because you know how to tack weld.
Well, you might be wondering where this beautiful and very humble couple came from. Back in 2019, we spent the year building out our schoolie. After the build was done, we sold our house and traveled for a full year. Following that year of travel, we started to crave building again and getting something 4x4.
Check out this, made in US of A. So here's one piece of the bumper. Guessing that's like this side.
I'll tell them exactly what bumpers we ordered.
So this company basically has the bumpers designed. You select a couple options and they send it to you all bent and cut up, and then you weld it together. So it's like a weld it yourself kit, build it yourself, which is cool for the people that have the abilities to do that, you know, to weld. But like if you don't have a plasma cutter or benders or anything like that, it's gonna save you a ton of time.
For the back area, we got the classic rear bumper kit, and then they have modifications that you can add onto it. So we added the clevis or clevis?
Clevis.
We added the
That's right
clevis
here.
and classic rear light holes. So it's just pre-made holes for you to put lights for. For the front area, we got the classic full grill bumper kit. And they have a ton of different options and styles. This is just the one we were going for. And then we did the 2-inch upgrade. So that's 2-inch thicker metal.
Yeah, it's just thicker metal up front.
And then we got the classic center light holes and the classic wing light holes.
It's all like 3/16 and it's a really good fit. Holy crap. Part of laying good welds is your prep. And see, for instance, if it's sat like this, you're not going to be able to get a good consistent, but it sits like super perfectly gapped all the way around, so I'll be able to get really consistent welds, which is nice.
Okay, let me paint a picture for you. I went in the bus like an hour ago after we were looking at all these bumper parts, and he already has it tacked together. Bumpers would usually take him like a week to make, to plan out, measure, design. Yeah, in an hour, you can already see how the bumper's looking. How insane. And that's what the van would look like without it. Pretty ugh, if you ask me.
Okay. She's getting there, isn't she? Can you come here? Well, how's it look?
I think this side needs to go left a little bit.
Overhanging too much or whatnot. Watch out, man! Not to take pictures of your shop. Yeah, it looks sick. But I like the width. I put spacers behind this one. It looks like this bumper, this is bent, this frame rail, down and to the right.
Maybe he already hit this dent out. Maybe this was a bigger...
That's probably a junkyard bumper. This thing's probably been rear-ended at one point. Ready?
Yeah. If you can go a little bit farther back.
I'm beveling the edges, which is kind of creating like a V, so I can get a weld in there rather than just two butt joints flat. So, on the parts that I'm gonna weld, you can see that bevel, they call it. And that's because, see right here, I can get a nice weld bead all here, but these butt up right next to each other, so I can't get a bead there. So I beveled both of them so that way I can get a nice weld down in that groove. Let's get the generator started up. Come help me out. Basically, this piece has to be held like this, but tacked on.
Okay.
So maybe I'll hold while you tack.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, because you know how to tack weld.
I haven't welded in a while, but I'd like to.
Ah!
Okay.
Welding. or you think we should try to go a little higher?
Probably there, huh?
Can you, I think the tape measure is in the van or on the pin. It'd either be on that. And then the Sharpie as well. Now I guess we lift it up. That looks pretty sweet, huh?
Looking good.
I think it should go up a little more. Maybe let's get the generator cranking. So those tabs that actually mount to the van, like frame, I had them loose still and I forgot about it, and I also welded the seams and then tightened them where they're perfectly level with each other, which was nice because that made this where we kind of just set it on and it held itself. But that looks pretty awesome. What you're doing there is standing back and looking for level this direction and like just every which way. That looks pretty perfect, huh? So now something I was doing there is I have my welder set pretty hot because I'm doing these butt joints. I want to get good penetration. So now for these insides here, I'm gonna keep my welder real hot, and then here is I'm gonna grind those off. But here I might not grind them off, and I want my beads to kind of bubble over, so if I do grind them, I can have a nice round over. I'll turn my settings on my welder down quite a bit, so I'm moving slower, but I can get nicer, larger welds essentially. I also welded the tops and the bottoms first. That way they don't tweak and move anyways. So, and I'm constantly checking and make sure it's not moving. And then the nice thing is this is actually cold rolled steel. So when I was welding this part, if it was hot rolled, the scale would come off of it, which would suck because then when you go to paint over it, you can see a fine little line of where that mill scale comes off. Very happy with this bumper. What's cool is I got these big old clevis frames too, so I can.
Nice.
Those are sick, huh?
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I like this. And then I got it with the light holes too, so that way I can put off-road lights on the back. So the next thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna bevel this edge pretty heavily, since this is about 1 inch thick material. I'm gonna bring it down quite significantly, so that way this can sit on here, and then I'll lay quite a few welds. So I'll probably do like 4 or 5 passes on these. And then I have a die grinder, and I will go in here and smooth it out and give it a nice round over and all that jazz. So, generator's out of gas. I think I'm gonna take this off, and I'm probably gonna reuse the plate on here and see if I can just weld that plate up to the bumper or something like that. Maybe put some, I'm not sure. But this piece here comes off and can move to the side. So the downside to this winch is you're gonna have to reach up underneath the bottom of the back and move the little free spool, you know, the clutch here, which isn't amazing. Unless I could mount it upside down, which actually would be a pretty good idea. I'm gonna look to make sure I can and not mess up anything. I wouldn't see why. But if I mount it upside down, then I can have the plate up there. I could probably just leave this where it's at, and then maybe I just put this guy here, like right in the center. I think that'll look really nice, actually. So it's a little windy today, so I'm gonna go ahead and move this and create a little wind block. I'm welding with gas here, So because of that, gas blows away, I get what's called porosity in my welds. And that's when you see welds that are like bubbly and like porous, I guess. Not only do they look bad, they're extremely weak. So I run about 20 CFM on my tank, on my regulators, and that seems to be pretty perfect for me. And then as well, if you run 20 CFM on certain size bottles and certain spools of wire, the bottle and the wire will run out at the same time, which is kind of convenient as far as going to the store. And my assistant is here to help. Thanks, assistant. Got the sucker off now. Now I can take it and weld up every little bit. Get it really situated. These are the inside mount that bolt up to the bumper here. And so what I'm gonna go ahead and do here is I'll try to get a weld in there, weld here, weld there. Really just try to get this thing solidified here. And then you can see my mark there, and I'll center that plate and then weld it here. Like that shirt pose? Is that pretty good?
Yeah.
So that's our first pass. So it's on there, but now if I smack this, like if I yank this thing super hard, it might pop off. We'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and take my grinder, clean this up, all these welds. They're good welds, but I'm gonna go ahead and knock these down. So now I'll kind of lay a bead down on the bottom side and then lay a bead down on the top side. I found it best to use like WD-40 and then just slowly with a bit of pressure like this, and it seems like it gets a lot longer. I like to vacuum up the drilling chips because those things hurt if they get in your skin or whatever. What I love about this bumper here is it gave me a great platform to make a really pretty, nice bumper. But then I can go out and take my own creative spin on it, like putting a winch on it or adding a swing out tire carrier, stuff like that, which is something I could have done myself, but the amount of time and money it would have taken, this is way better. So now I have the winch, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over.
Cleaning this off and then painting the top with some stuff. These steps are so thin. You need sunglasses when painting a roof in mid-sunlight white. Sure. Lance,
What?
do you want to look at it and see if it's okay?
I think it's fine.
Okay.
Rather than mounting the winch quite yet. So now I can see I need to do a little filing. That'll go like this. Beautiful. Flip this bumper around. Let's see. Works like a treat, huh? I remember I could mount this somewhere else. Not sure where that was. Was designed to be mounted somewhere besides right up here. So this?
Yeah.
We'll go like that. we could just like have it hold tight.
I think if we can get tight enough to sit like that, let's do that.
What?
That's the most handiest sander I have.
I know, this thing's sweet.
Yeah.
Man, this thing turned out cool.